You're tuned in to Repco Muscle Garage, the home of New Zealand's toughest muscle cars, hot rods and street machines. Proudly brought to you by Repco, in association with Mount Shop, Maguire's and Reslos. And today marks the first of a two-part special as we dive into the first 3 days of the biggest event on the Kiwi automotive calendar every year, Repco Beach Hop. This was the 23rd edition of the iconic event, and the second time it had been staged within 6 months thanks to COVID complications. As you'll discover, thanks to Reslos, this one had a few challenges to overcome too, but that didn't stop it being one of the best ever. Especially from an operational point of view, according to Chairman/Head Honcho, Noddy Watts. Noddy's been there since day dot, and has always had a crystal clear vision of what makes Beach Hop so special and so amazingly well attended.
Beach Hop, it's a 5-day celebration of the 50s and 60s. So that's the music, the fashion, the dancing, the cars, the bikes, the retro caravans, the whole culture. Step back in time, think Greece, think happy days. That's what this festival's all about.
And despite COVID and Cyclone Gabrielle's best efforts, the Repco Beach Hop just keeps rolling along, with Noddy's hand firmly on the tiller.
3 years of COVID, and we thought, yeah, okay, we're going to have a nice easy one. We're not doing a vehicle this year. 4 months in between, everything's all fresh. We can turn it around. This is event management for you, eh? It'll throw anything at you. So with the weather and the floods, there are so many different agencies and factors in part of it. But, we've stuck to our guns. We've listened to the advice. We've worked with some fantastic agencies. Even Waka Kotahi, NZTA, been brilliant to deal with to get these roads open for this event.
As ever, things kicked off with the Oceana Gold and Go Waihi sponsored warm-up party. It marks the first of a few days of cruises, with plenty of new offerings to admire and old faves returning too. Sure, after road closures, it wasn't always a totally straightforward affair getting there, but it didn't stop legions of incredible and incredibly varied rides arriving in force. While most travelled in convoy from Whangamata, others came from around the country to Waihi to kick off their beach hop experience with the aptly named warm-up party. And it has to be said, beyond the cars, there were plenty of examples of Beach Hop's trademark fashion statements on display too.
I hired this costume a few years ago. I went to a show and I thought this is perfect for the Beach Hop, Hey, I'll try to get best dressed, see how we go. It's bright, it's out there, so is my car. It's a 1938 two-door coupe, New Zealand U, steel body. I bought it from a guy in Whangarei 3 years ago. It's running a 383 stroker with a forward 9-inch. It's on airbags. It's roller cam, roller rockers, aluminium heads, putting out 430 horsepower. Gearboxes, there's a Turbo 350, built by Chuckman and Rotorua. Yes, it's a building process, so pretty much I've made it mine. Put a bigger motor in it. Changed the gearing and the diff, done all the artwork on it, on the front and the back. I actually won Best Hot Rod at Kiwi Show this year, so I was happy with that,
One of the reasons Repco Beach Hop is arguably New Zealand's premier event is because it's about so much more than just the showstoppers and serious trophy contenders. At its heart, this is really a celebration of a lifestyle and an amazing demonstration of the scale of New Zealand's love affair with cars in general. And cars that offer something a little different in particular. As a result, there's an endless number of classics that, while not as likely to win awards, still definitely look the part. Like this beautiful second-generation Camaro.
71 Camaro, still running the manual box and everything, but it's got a Tremac 5-speed on the back of a reworked 383, stroked 350. Had it, 3.5 years probably now. One Beach Hop, I tore a little hole in the sump, so hence I had to end up redoing the engine, but I found a whole lot wrong with it. So stripped it all out on the inside, looked at all the floor and dynamated it all, and it was a tidy car to start with. Spending a lot of time on it, a lot of money on it, as you do, but the engine I really wanted to get it right and put a nice shallower sump, 6-way trapdoor in it, and plenty of room and big sway bars front and rear, so it's nice and tight on the road. So now it's running really well. Got a nice set of phantom gauges in it and carbon fibre dash, and yeah, no, all much the same. We did the Martinborough cruise in January, and then Americana in the end of February, and now this one. So I'd like to put it on a track someday and just get a little play.
This is a 57 Chevy Townsman. We found her in 2015 down in Christchurch, picked her up and shipped her home back to the North Island. My lovely husband rebuilt her for me. She had a straight 6 in her. He bought me a 350, which then we made it a 383. I want to put some wheels on her with some white balls, put her back to how she was when she came from California. We've done the upholstery and everything, and she's got a Dakota digital dash and Woolworths front and rear. She is no longer strong arm, she is power steering because I wanted power steering, and she goes like a cut cat.
And one of the other hallmarks of Beach Hop is the fact that many of the drivers have rushed to the finish line to get their car ready for the big event. This very cool Oldsmobile Super 88, amazingly still with original paint, was no exception.
So 1956 Oldsmobile. Basically it was a build we did a few years back when I had my 2 girls, needed something with a back seat. Came across the Oldsmobile and it was a little bit different than your typical Bel Air and stuff like that. We were rushing to basically get it on the road, but it needs a few little finishing touches to it. You know, wanted to do a bit more in the interior, carpet. Now we never even carpeted the boots, so you know, we must get around to that one day. Had a few little mechanical issues and basically started off rebuilding complete chassis, 4-link rear end, pretty modified LS1. Tried to keep the inside quite original on the old girl. She's 90% its original paint from back in 56. Had to do a few little rust repairs. But apart from that, she's just a cruiser.
Aside from the stunning cars, fun atmosphere and cool crowd, there's one critical factor helping make Repco Beach Hop what it is: the sponsors. With some notable ones setting up shop at the top end of the Waihi strip.
We're here at the Beach Hop warm-up party on the first official day of Beach Hop, I suppose. There's always new cars turning up, even though it was only 3 or 4 months ago we were here. There'll be new stuff showing up, so looking forward to seeing all that, and you know, new people as well. Our first Beach Hop was about 04 or 05, so the 4th or 5th one. So we've been coming every year since. So we follow the event around every day and set up our easy ups, etc., with our product, etc., and give some specials and some discounts. And the Ultimate Pass guys have a voucher as well. This year we're giving away t-shirts as well for the Ultimate Pass guys. Yeah, always good exposure for us with Maguires.
Here for the first day of 2023 Beach Hop here in Waihi. Beautiful day turning out, so it's all good. Looking forward to the cars coming in. Yeah, no, it's definitely great to be back and put on a show for the locals, and yeah, to see all these classic cars here again. Repco's now been the major sponsor of Beach Hop for 12 years, and we look forward to continuing this event with Noddy and the locals, and yeah, we'll be back again next year in 2024 and beyond. I expect a whole lot of the old classic cars, and people just show off how well they look after them, and there's always something new to see for people, and yeah, just come along, and yeah, people that haven't done it on their bucket list, put it on there.
So Seddon Street, Waihi's main road, was once again absolutely jammed with wild, weird and wonderful whangamata-bound vehicles of all shapes and sizes. Alongside all the ingredients everyone's come to expect from this automotive party. Live rock and roll, dancing, questionable outfits and prize givings aplenty. One thing that sets Repco Beach Hop apart is the scale. There are literally thousands of cars, so many of them show-worthy everywhere you look. We can't feature them all, of course, but a few drivers were kind enough to pop the bonnet and let us take a closer look. One of the first that caught our eye was this impressive C10, built specifically with a Beach Hop deadline firmly in mind.
I originally brought the engine about 3.5 years ago, and then I was thinking, well, I really need something to put it in. So I sort of looked around and I thought about it. I just love the 68 C10s, the fleet size especially. Yeah, we had it out at Americana. It wasn't quite complete then. And then we sort of spent the following 3 weeks just trying to finish it off so we could bring it up here to Beach Hop. And yeah, this is my first time up here and thoroughly enjoying it so far. It's great. It's a bit of an eye-opener, a few more cars. And as the week's going on, the place is getting busier, so I imagine by Saturday it's going to be humming. There was just nothing in New Zealand, so we sourced one from out of the States, brought it across. I was originally sort of just going to do a bit of a sleeper and keep it in the Pantina, but it sort of just snowballed from there and it's become what it is now. Like there was a full structural chassis job that had to do for the motor and to handle the horsepower. I suppose because the engine's such a big engine, just putting it in there with the old chassis wouldn't have worked. So it's an LT4 out of, I think it's a 2015 Corvette. It came without a gearbox, so we had to source a gearbox for it. So we've got an 8-speed automatic that can handle the horsepower. It's rated at 485 kilowatt or 650 horsepower old school. We're pretty close to at least a few little details that we're just finishing off, but we're really happy with it.
Protection of hybrid ceramic.
Whoa.
Now in 3 easy-to-use products. In original spray wax, now as a liquid wax, and a spray detailer. Meguiar's hybrid ceramic family with advanced SiO2 technology. Meguiar's, ceramic made easy.
Rislone has been in engines almost as long as engines have been in cars. Why? Because from then until now, there's never been a perfectly clean fuel. This means every time you fill up, you're adding pollutants and contaminants to your fuel system. Rislone Fuel Injector Cleaner can cure those woes and help save your engine. Rislone Fuel Injector Cleaner adds an upper cylinder lubricant, providing double the cleaning power out of the same bottle. We know something about aging well, so when we say it's your engine's fountain of youth under a screw top, you can count on it. Rislone is the original engine tune-up, available at participating stores near you.
Welcome back to Repco Muscle Garage, coming to you from Repco Beach Hop 23, with a little help from Meguiar's. Recently across the country, Cyclone Gabrielle has had a huge effect. The towns of the Coromandel and the roads that connect them were hit particularly hard. Subsequently, Highway 25A, the main route from Auckland to Whangamata, was unexpectedly shut for this year's Repco Beach Hop, and that forced a bit of a quick rethink, resulting in Thursday's inaugural Repco Cruise the Loop. Until now, this had been a coordinated drive to Thames, but this time around, participants cruised a loop at their own speed, in their own time. That meant it wasn't quite the large-scale motorcade seen in these parts in the past, but the initiative took a lot of pressure off the region's roads as they're being rebuilt. And this one still had a good turnout regardless, ending up proving popular. Something Noddy describes as a curveball that ended up being a home run.
We wanted to make this festival different to the other one. What we didn't plan was State Highway 25, the Kopahuka falling over, which forced us to do the Repco Cruise the Loop. But that actually ended up being a silver lining, and because it was a brilliant day, and everyone wants us to do it again.
The Cruise the Loop concept was a bit more freeform than cruises of the past, but for most, it ended up in Whangamata, including our mate Ryan from Classic Cover.
Yeah, back for 2023. Beach Hop is one of the highlights of our year, well and truly. We certainly wouldn't miss it. It's so great to see our customers here. It's not the hardest work we have to do. It's nice to actually get out and see people, but we do try and actually get amongst it and enjoy the cruising and things as well where we can. Beach Hop size-wise, it's hard to match. I think probably anywhere in New Zealand and Australasia. The range of cars here is amazing. It's actually quite cool as you look past over the years. The guys that started and they were talking to you about their restoration projects and they're now here, so never ceases to amaze me. Ultimately, everything that drives past us this week is someone's pride and joy. That's blood, sweat and tears in them.
As Friday rolled around, things got even more picturesque at stunning Onemana Beach, the home of the Castrol Edge Thunder Cruise. As destinations for a day trip go, it obviously doesn't get much better. So it's no surprise that this is the day when Repco Beach Hop really kicks into gear. There was an incredible turnout this year, with many describing it as the best ever. And some changes to the parking plan ensured an even spread of people across the entire beach, meaning an infectious vibe everywhere you looked. As usual, Castrol had a huge presence, and they were repped this year by someone well known around the nostalgia drag racing scene, Carl Boniface.
Today I am part of the Castrol Edge Thunder Cruise at Onemana Beach for Beach Hop.
Always a fantastic day, and as you can see, the sun is shining. We're looking forward to probably 1,000 cars coming into the park here, plus another 1,000 or so around the fringes. We're going to fire up the car, make some noise, scare some people, have some fun. I love bringing the car along to events like this and letting people have an opportunity to see it. It's really cool to bring it along here, sit it out there on display, just stand around, talk to anyone who's interested.
I don't want to put my foot on the throttle, right?
Fire it up, see what the reactions are. It's always really entertaining, particularly if they haven't seen anything like it before. I give it a bang on the throttle and there's a bit of a jump goes through the crowd. It's cool fun. We're producing around about 2,500 horsepower. Power's coming from the nitromethane fuel. At the moment we're running around about 85 to 90% nitromethane and the remainder in methanol. That's what gives the car the distinctive sound and smell. And on the track, from a standing start to the finish line, over a 400-metre distance, we're doing 320 k's in 6 seconds. It's a bit of a ride. You feel it sort of go through your rib cage. And when I brought the Nitro car, and I had an opportunity to sit down and talk with Castrol, and we laid out a bit of a plan going forward, and it actually centred around the whole nostalgia movement. It is a nostalgia car, and it's reasonably authentic for what was running in the States in the 1970s. I made a prediction that it was going to hit New Zealand and be turn into something quite big, and thankfully that was a prediction that I got right. Castrol have supported me 100% all the way, and it's really been the difference for me to be able to do it continuously as well. It works for them and it works for us, and hopefully it continues long to the future.
Courtesy of the Mount Shop, the tail end of Thursday and Friday also gave us a golden opportunity to catch up with a few more beach hoppers on a few more brilliant builds and stunning restorations. First up is this ridiculously cool roadster from Mark Homan.
It's a replica 41 Willys Roadster. They actually did make them new in America from factory, and he made 3 of them genuine steel ones. So this was a replica body out of Australia, which I bought probably 15 years ago. I think it's the only one that's in the country. Many, many years ago when I was a teenager, I had a Willys Coupe slot car. And I suppose that sort of started it off, and I liked the shape, and I thought, well, you know, I'll get one of those. And as I say, the Coupe's been on the road for 25 years. And I wanted something different, but keeping with the Willys style, so decided to build a Roadster. It's got good size, it's got disc brakes all round, power steering, so it handles nice, stops nice, and just generally all round drives comfortable, with the roof, with the roof on or off, Yeah, that's good. With having it being a cabriolet, even with the roof off, if it is windy on the highway, freeway, you can roll up the side windows, at least stop the side deflection, because we're both getting a little bit older and get a bit weather beaten. But no, it just makes it comfortable to drive. But it's if it is going to be raining, put the roof on, So you get the best of both worlds, really.
Now we move from a hot rod to a resto mod on steroids, the tough Dodge Charger of Damien Pivac.
Yeah, so it's a 68 Charger. It did have a 383 in it. It's an auto with a 727. We hunted down a late model engine from Cleveland Power and Performance, so that's definitely got more power than the old 383. It was probably 12 months of collecting parts and getting the engine from Cleveland and doing things like that. And Thursday night, the guys that have been working on it put the cert little donut on and got it off, and I got rego the next day. So still some teething problems, but I wanted it here, and it's here to test drive. Yeah. Once I had it, I guess it was really to get a paint job, and then the same old story that you hear over and over. The paint job turned into an engine, to brakes, to everything you see. The engine wasn't the plan, but of course I saw other people dropping late model Dodge Challenger or Charger engines in, and so that ended up happening as well. Why the Charger? I mean, everyone's watched the Dukes of Hazzard when they were younger, and I was an 80s kid, and I suppose you can never afford one when you're really young, and had a few cars and built them up to this, I guess, is how it came about. Everyone's has a dream car and you build up to it, I suppose. Maybe that's what I was doing, I'm not sure. Or it's the chase. Can be a bit of a worry how much you're spending, but you only live once, so you get into it and do what you feel, I suppose.
So, with an unbelievable number of cars, smooth sailing despite road closures, and all the other things you've come to expect from this event, it's no surprise that Repco Beach Hop 23 got off to a killer start.
It's a great show to be part of.
I think there's 23 beach hops on. I think we've been to 20.
It's just not for one group of people, it's for everyone with families or whatever. Retired, whoever, it doesn't matter. And you're all like-minded.
The people element is probably the biggest part that make the event so special, and I really look forward to coming to events like this.
You see my mates from way back and everywhere, so yeah, and some fantastic people and fantastic cars.
I mean, what more could you ask for? And it's time off work.
And that's about all the time we've got for the first part of our Repco Beach Hop 23 special. Make sure you tune in next week when we shift focus to the big weekend in Whangamata, including the main parade with, amongst other things, a truly insane number of tea buckets, a bunch of Elvises fighting to be the king of the hop, and much, much more. Feel like your car could do with some TLC? Well, thanks to our series sponsors, we could be hooking you up with this incredible prize pack. For a start, there's a huge Maguire's and Rislone complete car care pack valued at over $760. We've also thrown in this unbelievable Mech Pro Blue 248-piece toolkit with 3-drawer chest valued at $566. To stay on top of everything underneath, there's a $500 Mount Shop voucher. And last but not least, you'll also score a year's subscription to NZV8 magazine. That's a total prize pool of nearly $2,000. To enter, just head over to nzv8.co.nz and hit the Muscle Garage link on the homepage. The winner will be drawn at the end of the series, so make sure you get amongst, because this prize pack is one major haul. Good luck.
Repco Muscle Garage was proudly brought to you by Repco. It starts with the parts. Mount Shop Undercar Specialists. Maguire's, people who love cars love Maguire's. And Rislone, high performance additives for high performance vehicles.